She used to thread a needle in one motion, spot a hummingbird across the garden, read bedtime stories to her grandchildren without adjusting the lamp. Her eyes, once sharp and sure, were a quiet symbol of independence. But somewhere around her 60s, small changes began. A flicker of dryness in the morning, struggling to read a menu in low light, glare from headlights at night. At first, she blamed it on tiredness or the weather. But by 67, it was clear her eyes had aged too. For many senior women, especially in the US and Europe, vision decline happens so slowly, so silently, that it often goes unnoticed until it's too late. What makes it worse? Certain everyday habits, simple, innocent routines, actually speed up this decline. And yet, very few know about them. In this episode of Elderly Reflections, we'll walk you through 6 eye-damaging habits every woman over 60 must stop doing immediately. These aren't just tips, they're small turning points that can help protect one of your most precious senses. Because at this stage of life, eye health isn't just about sight. It's about confidence, freedom, and continuing to fully experience the world around you. You'll hear real-life examples, quotes from medical professionals, and elderly wisdom gathered from women who've walked this path before you. This isn't fear-based. It's empowerment. It's motivation. It's clarity in more ways than one. So grab a warm cup of tea, settle in, and let's begin this gentle but urgent journey. Before we dive in, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. You'll get weekly inspiration, senior health insights, and life lessons from the elderly, all from the heart of Elderly Reflections. Let's begin with a simple truth. What we overlook today might cost us our vision tomorrow. Eye health after 60 is fragile, not because of sudden disease, but because of tiny choices that build up over time. And among the most critical missteps are the ones that seem the most harmless. Here are the first 2 habits every senior woman must urgently reconsider. When skipping the eye doctor becomes a risk you can't afford, it sounds basic. Almost too simple to matter. But skipping annual eye exams is one of the most common and most dangerous habits among senior women. After 60, the risk of age-related eye conditions like glaucoma, macular degeneration, cataracts, and diabetic retinopathy increases dramatically. And the worst part? Many of these diseases begin with no symptoms. A yearly eye exam isn't just about getting a new glasses prescription. It's a window into your overall senior health. Ophthalmologists can detect signs of high blood pressure, diabetes, even stroke risk just by looking into your eyes. It's also a chance to monitor subtle shifts in visual acuity, depth perception, and contrast sensitivity, critical for preventing falls and maintaining independence. Many women unknowingly assume that if they can still read a book or drive during the day, their eyes must be fine. But vision can change silently. Regular exams help catch these shifts before they lead to accidents or irreversible damage. Margaret, 68, from rural Oregon, skipped her eye appointments for 3 years. I didn't feel any different, she recalled. But one morning, she noticed a gray shadow in her peripheral vision. It turned out to be glaucoma. If I had come in 6 months earlier, we could have slowed it more, her doctor said. Margaret now lives with partial vision loss, a daily reminder of a missed appointment. And Margaret is not alone. In surveys conducted by senior health groups across North America, nearly 40% of women over 65 admitted they hadn't seen an eye doctor in over 2 years. The reasons? I didn't think it was urgent. My glasses still work. I'm afraid of bad news. All deeply human answers, but all carrying silent consequences. Elderly wisdom tells us, what you can't see can still harm you. Prioritizing regular exams is a small act of self-respect with enormous impact. Many senior vision losses are preventable, but only if we treat the eyes as an evolving part of whole body health. Elderly Reflections teaches us not to wait for pain before we act, especially when it comes to vision. The cost of dry eyes isn't just discomfort, it's decline. Dry, itchy, burning eyes, many women think this is just part of getting older. But untreated dry eye can lead to corneal damage, blurred vision, and increased sensitivity to light. And in our screen heavy world, even seniors are not immune to digital eye strain. Dry eye often worsens due to hormone changes post menopause, certain medications, or simply reduced tear production with age. Women over 60 are twice as likely as men to suffer from it and far less likely to treat it. Yet few realize that dry eye is not only uncomfortable, it's progressive. When tear film becomes unstable, it can expose the eye to microabrasions and infection. What starts as a nuisance becomes a chronic health issue, reducing visual clarity and quality of life. This is not just a comfort issue, it's a safety one too, especially for those driving or walking in low light. Eleanor, 72, from Manchester, spent hours each day on her tablet reading, video calling, shopping. She blamed her eye irritation on just old age. But her condition escalated into chronic inflammation, needing months of treatment. I didn't know my tears were supposed to protect my eyes, she said. I thought I just had to live with it. And Eleanor's case is common. A recent European study found that more than 50% of women over 60 experience symptoms of dry eye, but fewer than 20% seek treatment. Many simply suffer in silence or dismiss it as part of the aging process. The solution? Blink more often, especially during screen use. Use preservative-free artificial tears, ideally in consultation with your eye doctor. Place warm compresses on your eyes to stimulate natural oil production. Consider using a humidifier at night. Limit screen time before bed and avoid reading in low light. These daily rituals are acts of senior self-care. More importantly, they're not luxuries. They're part of protecting something irreplaceable. Elderly Reflections reminds us our eyes tell the story of our lives. Keeping them healthy means keeping that story clear. Let's turn now to the subtler habits, those that feel harmless, but gradually strip away visual comfort and clarity. These next two are especially deceptive because they masquerade as normal routines or simple conveniences. But for women over 60, they come with a hidden cost. Sleeping with makeup on might seem like a small oversight after a long day, but it's a habit that invites significant risk. Many women, especially those who have applied makeup daily for decades, don't realize that the eye area becomes more vulnerable with age. Residual mascara, eyeliner, and eyeshadow can block the meibomian glands, tiny oil glands along the eyelid responsible for healthy tear film. When blocked, these glands can lead to dryness, irritation, and recurring infections like blepharitis or painful styes. For someone in her 30s, it might mean a night of discomfort. But for someone in her 60s or 70s, it can spiral into chronic inflammation and lasting damage. Teresa, 70, from Chicago, had always taken pride in her appearance. But over the years, skipping the makeup removal ritual became more common. It was just laziness some nights, she admitted. Her negligence led to a sty that turned into persistent swelling. I didn't even want to look in the mirror. Her recovery took weeks, and she's now adamant about nighttime eye hygiene. The lesson? The few minutes you save can cost you weeks of recovery and discomfort. For countless other senior women, similar stories unfold, cases of irritation turning to infection, and mild redness evolving into painful inflammation, all because of a few overlooked nights. What many don't realize is that the meibomian glands don't regenerate easily. Repeated blockages can damage them permanently, reducing tear quality and leading to lifelong dry eye. It's not only about removing makeup, it's about preserving the essential balance your eyes need to stay healthy. Senior health advocates recommend making eye cleansing part of a calming bedtime ritual, integrating gentle massaging and warm compresses to maintain healthy oil flow. And for those with arthritis or tremors, there are ergonomic tools and voice-guided makeup removers designed specifically for seniors to maintain autonomy without strain. The second quiet culprit in the lives of many elderly women is the habitual use of over-the-counter eye drops without medical guidance. These drops often promise immediate relief, whether to soothe dryness or eliminate redness, but they're not always as harmless as they seem. especially the ones marketed for red eyes, which typically contain vasoconstrictors. These ingredients shrink blood vessels to temporarily remove redness, but they also deprive the eye of oxygen and moisture. With repeated use, they cause a phenomenon known as rebound redness, where the eye appears even more inflamed after the effect wears off. Lucille, 73, from Nova Scotia, had been using these drops twice daily for over a year. They were part of my morning routine: brush teeth, drops in, ready to go, she said. When she noticed her eyes getting drier, more irritated, and redder by the evening, she didn't connect it to the drops. Her optometrist was the one who explained the cycle she had unknowingly created. Recovery wasn't immediate. It took over 2 months for Lucille to restore balance, using only preservative-free artificial tears and applying warm compresses. I never thought something so small could mess up my eyes so much, she reflected. Stories like Lucille's are more common than most realize, especially in retirement communities where over-the-counter remedies become a substitute for professional care. In clinics across Europe and North America, ophthalmologists are increasingly encountering elderly women with chronic dry eye made worse by years of improper drop use. The underlying issue isn't just physical, it's informational. Many older women were never educated about eye care as part of overall health. They were taught to watch their diet, their blood pressure, even their bones, but not their vision. This oversight has led to a culture of reactive care rather than prevention. By the time symptoms are severe enough to prompt a doctor visit, significant damage has often already occurred. For any senior woman looking to break free from these harmful patterns, the key lies in awareness and small behavioral shifts. Remove eye makeup thoroughly with a fragrance-free cleanser or micellar water. Choose hypoallergenic products and make it a non-negotiable part of your bedtime routine. When it comes to eye drops, always opt for those without preservatives and avoid any that promise to whiten unless specifically prescribed. Keep a log of how often you use them, and if you find yourself reaching for them daily, that's a signal to consult your eye care provider. Elderly wisdom isn't just about experience, it's about transforming that experience into better choices. These habits, seemingly minor, can turn into lifelong consequences if left unchecked. But the good news is they're also easily reversible. With a little attention, guidance, and care, every senior woman can protect her vision and feel more confident in her daily routines. In this way, eye care becomes not only a health decision, but an emotional act of self-respect and aging with dignity. As we step into the final part of this eye-opening journey, it's time to talk about proactive change. The last two habits we're about to explore may not seem directly connected to the eyes, but their effects ripple out in subtle, damaging ways. They're about lifestyle choices that rob the body of the nutrients, rest, and renewal that aging eyes desperately need. Let's begin with the fifth habit: neglecting proper nutrition. Many senior women unknowingly starve their vision by not eating the right foods. After 60, the eyes become particularly vulnerable to oxidative stress. Antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, along with vitamins A, C, and E, are crucial for preventing macular degeneration and maintaining retinal health. Yet many elderly diets, especially in Western countries, are heavy in processed carbs, sugar, and sodium, offering little protection for aging eyes. Judith, 75, from Wales, lived on tea, toast, and occasional takeout. It was convenient and familiar, but she began experiencing fuzzy vision and trouble adjusting to dim light. A nutritionist finally connected the dots. Her diet lacked the pigments and minerals needed to support macular strength. Within 3 months of introducing leafy greens, colorful vegetables, and omega-3 rich fish, her vision improved noticeably. I didn't think food had anything to do with my eyes, she admitted. Now I never skip my spinach. And this isn't an isolated case. Across many parts of North America and Europe, elderly nutrition tends to suffer not only from convenience eating, but from economic limitations and a lack of nutritional education tailored to seniors. Many older women live alone, and the motivation to cook a full, balanced meal can wane when there's no one else to share it with. That emotional disconnect often leads to skipped meals, repetitive menus, or over reliance on frozen and packaged foods. However, nutritionists emphasize that just a few small dietary changes can have a profound impact. Kale, eggs, orange peppers, and wild salmon are all powerful allies in preserving vision. Senior centers across the UK have begun offering vision friendly meal prep classes with surprising success, restoring not just physical clarity, but also community and motivation. Beyond diet alone, hydration is another silent hero. Aging bodies often misinterpret thirst signals, leading many seniors to drink less than they need. Dehydration can worsen dry eye symptoms and reduce the production of protective tear film. Even a slight increase in daily water intake, alongside natural hydration from water rich foods like cucumbers, tomatoes, and citrus fruits, can dramatically improve comfort and clarity. There's also a growing recognition of the gut eye connection. Scientists have uncovered that a healthy gut microbiome supports immune responses in the eye, particularly against inflammation. Foods rich in fiber, probiotics, and fermented ingredients like yogurt or kefir may indirectly strengthen vision by maintaining that delicate internal balance. As the field of nutritional ophthalmology expands, women over 60 are discovering that what they put on their plate can literally shape what they see in the mirror. Equally damaging is the sixth habit: poor sleep hygiene. We don't often link sleep and vision, but chronic sleep deprivation affects tear production, eye tissue regeneration, and even intraocular pressure. Women over 60 often report sleeping less due to pain, menopause symptoms, or anxiety. But few realize that insufficient rest contributes to dry eye, twitching eyelids, and visual fatigue. Martha, 69, from Colorado, had been waking up at 3 a.m. for years. She chalked it up to just aging, but after a particularly stressful season, she began having trouble focusing during the day and experienced frequent eye strain. Her doctor prescribed not a pill, but a routine: dim lights in the evening, no screens an hour before bed, and magnesium rich snacks. I thought it was silly, she said, but after 2 weeks, I slept through the night. And my eyes felt normal again. Scientific studies have since shown that deep sleep plays a vital role in regulating fluid levels within the eye and preventing conditions like glaucoma. Seniors with irregular sleep patterns often experience elevated eye pressure upon waking, something that goes unnoticed until vision loss becomes evident. Moreover, REM sleep is critical for the brain to process visual input from the day, which impacts both sight clarity and memory retention. That's why consistent, quality sleep isn't just rest, it's vision therapy in disguise. For women facing age related sleep challenges, holistic strategies are emerging. In Scandinavia, a growing number of elder care facilities now implement circadian lighting systems, artificial lights that mimic the natural movement of the sun throughout the day to help regulate melatonin production. At home, seniors are learning to create calming night routines using herbal teas, soundscapes, and breathing techniques that help the body prepare for rest. These rituals, while simple, restore both mind and sight. Experts also recommend practicing sleep hygiene in a layered way, limiting caffeine after 2 p.m., establishing a consistent bedtime routine, keeping the bedroom cool and quiet, and using blackout curtains to reduce light pollution. Apps designed for the elderly are now offering guided meditations and progressive muscle relaxation exercises tailored to nighttime use, improving sleep depth and quality. For women with chronic pain or hormonal imbalances, integrative therapies such as acupuncture or natural supplements like melatonin and valerian root are gaining traction, with several clinical studies showing improvements in both sleep and ocular comfort. These last two habits reveal something powerful. Your eyes are not isolated organs, they're mirrors reflecting your overall well being. And the good news? Changing these patterns doesn't require big money or drastic measures, just intention. Elderly Reflections believes that inspiration for change often comes from stories like Judith's and Martha's, real women turning daily struggle into daily strength. Proactive eye health is more than appointments and drops, it's nutrition, rest, routine, and reverence. Let this be your turning point. As we close, remember your vision matters because your life still has so much to see. Your eyes are storytellers. They've witnessed births, farewells, first dances, final words. They've seen you through decades of joy and sorrow, connection and solitude. And now, in your 60s and beyond, they ask for care not because they are weak, but because they have served you so well. If there's one thing elderly wisdom teaches us, it's this: the quiet moments we protect become the legacy we leave behind. These 6 habits, seemingly small, can either cloud your future or brighten it. The choice isn't about perfection, it's about awareness, about pausing long enough to see what really matters. We hope this reflection has not only informed you, but inspired you. Because motivation doesn't come from fear, it comes from dignity, from knowing your worth, from reclaiming the joy of waking up to a world that is still full of color and meaning. If this message touched you, share it with someone you love. Comment below and tell us, where are you watching from? What's your biggest lesson from the women we met today? And most importantly, subscribe to Elderly Reflections for more life lessons from the elderly, wisdom worth hearing, and health worth protecting. Until next time, may your eyes stay clear, your heart stay open, and your path remain beautifully visible.